You can see the total trades right here. You can see how many of them ran for at least 15%. Right here, you can see for 30%, for 40%. And then right here, I have a customized TP percentage. For me, it's like the most important thing is like, okay, number one, defining the strategy and what variables truly matter. Now, once I have the variables that truly matter, next thing that I want to identify is where is the best place to put my take profit on a consistent basis. And the way I do that, guys, is going to be this third section that I really want you to focus on right here, which is all the data that I track on a stock when it breaks out. And I don't cherry pick this. I track every single penny stock breakout that happens. So right here, you can see the actual date the stock broke out. You can see the ticker. You can see the breakout level that I put on there. You can put the time the stock broke out, where the entry should have been. This should have been your entry. And then right here, very important, what I track is what's the max percentage gain that I could have got while I was in this trade. Like if I sold at the tippity top, what was the max percentage gain that I could have got while I was in the trade? And then right here, I also track the max drawdown as well, which is so important because like risk management is arguably the most important thing in trading. So it's like, not only do I need to know where to put my take profit, but also I need to get a really good idea of like, what's my average drawdown? I have one-on-one students who come to me and say this. They say, Andrew, I use the stop loss sometimes, but I stopped using it because I used to always get kicked out of my trades. And the reason why is because you don't track the max drawdown. So for me, I track the max drawdown on every single trade. So I have a really good idea of exactly where to put my stop loss based on data, not based on emotion or intuition. Next up, we have market cap, free float, profit and loss on every single trade, calculated by the position size that I have up here in the top right-hand corner. And then also I have the dollar volume right here. Okay, this really breaks down the details of every single ticker. That way I can very clearly see that. And then down here all the way at the bottom, guys, is going to be the actual equity curve. So for me, like, I don't only want to know the win rate. I think, you know, having a 73% win rate, that sounds awesome. So if you take a look right here, 73% win rate. But this equity curve is going to give me a really good idea of like what it feels like to trade this on a day by day, on a month by month. For example, you may take a look at this and say, oh, Andrew, this looks amazing. And like, to be fair, this is an amazing strategy. It does look great. But also too, like, realize like right here in September, you would have been sitting at $6,150 in profit if you took every single one of these trades with a $3,000 position size. And then basically you had a massive drawdown here all the way down to $3,750 in profit. Now that was the biggest drawdown in all the past 8 months, all the way since August, but it's something that's important to know. So for me, I get a really good idea of exactly how this strategy feels to play on the day by day and on by the week by week as well. And from here, you can see the actual date when I started tracking this strategy was August the 8th, all the way up here to April the 2nd, which was updated on Friday. Today's Monday. Which was updated on Thursday. Today's Monday, so I'll update the numbers when I put those in today as well. Now over here to the right, also just to get a really good idea of like, you know, what is my expectancy as far as green days versus red days. Out of the past, you know, all the way since August, you would have had 55 green days. You would have had 22 red days. So just taking this one strategy, you are going to be green 71% of the time. And like, keep in mind, guys, I don't cherry pick shit. I track everything because I'm a trader and I need to know this information. So I had to go through a lot of different variables and filtering in order to find this strategy. And one thing that I want you to notice is that, you know, since August the 8th is when I started tracking this, there's only been 86 trades that have fit this criteria, which means there are going to be quite a few days where you take no trades. My argument to you is that you don't need to take more trades, brother. You probably need to take less trades. You need to take more quality trades, which brings me to my next point over here, which is this final table over here on the bottom right-hand corner. For me, one of the most important things is when you're trading in a cash account and you have less than $25,000 in an account, you really need to get a really good idea of how aggressive you can be with this setup as far as position sizing. So what I wanted was an ability to see like how many trades can I expect to take on any given day. So right here, if I filter or if I sort by, I can sort by the record count, which is the maximum amount of trades that you would have taken on any given day. April the 1st, like this was the first time that this ever happened in this strategy, but we actually had 3 of these breakouts happen in one day. But on most days, it's only 2. And that only happened one time, which was on April the 1st. If you have a $5,000 portfolio, right, and you want to get as aggressive as possible, that means your expectancy is that you can take about 2 trades per day, which means if you take your 5K and you divide it by 2, that means you can go into 2 positions with 2.5K apiece, all right? Which is going to be very hard for you on other strategies that may happen 6, 7, 8 times, because you might have to take that $5,000 and divvy it up, you know, 5 or 6 times. So for me, I would prefer to be a little bit more patient, take less trades, and be able to size in with bigger positions, okay? Which is important to know. So up here, I can take my position size. So like, let's say, for example, with that in mind, let's say you have a $10,000 portfolio and you're watching this and you're like, okay, so, you know, this happens 2 times per day. So that means I can get aggressive and I can go in with maximum $5,000 position size. So let's type in a $5,000 position size. And then from there, it's going to generate the total net profit that you would have made here over the past 8 months. And then what I'm able to do, guys, is I'm able to take a look at the net profit and really find out which take profit percentage is the best. So if I went for 15% on every single trade, I can see the net profit is 24,250. If I held for 30% on every single trade, I can see not only the win rate, but also the net profit. And then you can see from 15% to 30% to 40%, it goes lower and lower and lower. Hint, hint, it's typically not a really good fucking idea to hold these penny stocks for 30, 40, 50% gains. You'll get lucky sometimes, but on a consistent basis, it's not there consistently. Your win rate is going to drop really low. Now from there, I have a customized TP percentage because like I have my default settings at 15, 30, and 40, so I can easily identify and get a good idea of like on average, like what the right number is. And then let's say like 15%, I'm like, okay, well, what about 16%? Let me type in 16%. And then from there, it's going to generate the net profit. Net profit for 16% is 23,800. Win rate drops from 73% down to 71%. So you get a couple more losers right there. You don't get quite as much profit. So I'm like, okay, well, 16% isn't more profitable. Let's go up a little bit. Let's go to 17%. 24,000 profit, still more than $19,000 in profit. Type in 18%. We get a little bit more, 20,400, but that's still less than 15%. Let me go for 19%. Now we're really falling off. You go for 19%. Now your win rate drops down all the way to 60%. And then you come down here and take a look at the equity curve. Look at this equity curve. Guys, this sucks. You peak right here, and then you pull back, and it's a lot more choppy. It's a lot less enjoyable. So that's probably not a good idea. Let me try going down. Let me type in 14%. 14%, I have the same win rate as 15%. So if it goes for 14%, they go for 15%. So you're just losing out on some net profit right there by trying to go for 14%. Let's type in 13%. 13%, now your net profit is really dropping down. Right here, you're at 24,000. Now you go all the way down to 17,000. So going through all these different TP percentages, I can identify and say, okay, with this strategy, what has been most consistent on a consistent basis that's going to net me the most profit is a 15% take profit. And the reason why I love this strategy the most is because not only is this the most net profitable, but also by going down and taking a look at the equity curve of 15%, it's also very enjoyable. Outside of this one drawdown that you had right here, I mean, this is pretty damn steady growth. I mean, many of you would lie, cheat, and steal to get a portfolio growth that looks like this. So if you want to learn this strategy, you want me to help you identify, you want to live trade with me every single day, guys, click that link down below. I'd love to have you as a one-on-one student. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.